What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a wonderful day and life is treating you well. I wanted to hop on here real fast and talk a little bit tonight about storytelling, mainly because I've had this conversation about 5 times in the last 2 or 3 days about storytelling. So I know that from my own experience, I've just always resonated with good stories. Like I'm a big fan of stories of people who like started from the bottom and like, you know what I'm saying? Like the underdogs and the people who were looked down on. Like I'm a big fan of stories of people who started with nothing and built themselves up. Like I like that stuff. It resonates with me. I identify with it, and I'm able to make an emotional connection with it to where like I like that stuff. Like for example, The Rock. If you've ever listened to his story, his backstory about growing up and like the things that he went through and the things that he did, and to see where he's at today, it's like, damn, if he did it, if he's where he's at, like it's possible for anybody. So, and I'm able to apply that in my own life because I know that rather than trying to pitch somebody to sell them something, which I've tried to do over and over and it's never worked, my own experience shows me that I'm able to better get my message across through stories, right? And I know that's one because a lot of people think that if and when they decide to make a video to promote their business, sell their product, to get their information out there, it's like sale, sale, sale. Just like, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to force somebody to want to buy into whatever the heck it is they're trying to offer you without telling you a story about why it's important, right? So I've got like 5 different examples in my head right now, but the first one, so about a few days ago, right, I recorded an event for somebody and they wanted to just highlight the day, right? Tell a story about why the event was cool and like the people that were there and stuff like that. But that's not the gold nugget of the event. Like the event, the gold nuggets of that is like, why did people show up? What did they learn while they were there? What happened in their mind to get them to believe like at one point this was not important and now it is, right? So, and it's those stories right there that are able to connect with the person you are trying to connect with, right? I'll give you another example. I have some realtor friends, right? And these folks are the best at what they do. Like they're very good. They've been realtors for like 30 years. And it's natural to want to start creating content based around trying to sell the thing that you're trying to sell. That way you can like, because it just makes sense, right? If you're going to make a video, it might as well be a video about something you're trying to sell. That way you can see a return on your investment, right? But I said, check us out. You got to look at this a different way. The real value is in the story that sold you on the thing that you're trying to sell, right? So I asked this guy, I said, you know, why did you become a realtor? Right. And then he started telling me his story about why he became a realtor and like all the ups and the downs that he's seen and all the things that he's witnessed. And I'm like, dude, that is the message right there. Like that's the gold mine. That's what you have to be able to identify with. Right. So I said all that to say, you know, I think that everybody should practice your storytelling. And I know that not everybody has the gift or the ability or the desire to be able to share stories like that. So, and I've had an advantage throughout most of my life. So how I became very good at telling stories and storytelling and like listening and just like, you know, speaking in a logical sequence that helps people understand the message that I'm trying to convey comes through my experience in 12-step programs, right? So I got introduced to recovery in 2010. Right. Back then I was a drug addict. I was the worst type of drug addict you'd ever seen in your life, shooting heroin, meth, everything under the sun. Like I completely ruined my entire life. Thankfully in 2010, I was 22 years old and I got clean. Right. And I got exposed to a fellowship of people where, you know, anybody who's been in a recovery program knows that people go to 12-step meetings sometimes on a daily basis. Right. And back when I first got clean, I went to meetings every day. And if you don't know what a 12-step meeting is, it's basically a group of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or 100 people that meet on a regular basis and share about where they're at, share about the struggles that they're going through, share about the successes they've experienced, right? And to be able to just share experience, strength, and hope with one another. right? So that's where I first was able to identify and like connect and meet good speakers, right? People that were able to get their message across really well. And I remember there were some speakers that would just draw me in, and I would just like completely listen to everything that they said. And I took everything that they said as fact, right? Because I believed in them. I believed in their story. I believed in their process. So things that they shared like resonated with me, and I was able to identify with it. Now, granted, like when I first got clean, I couldn't speak in front of anybody, right? So a part of the 12-step process, like at the beginning of each meeting, they have like these readings that they read through. And like, I would try to, grab one of those readings so I could read it at the beginning of the meeting. And I shit you not, I literally remember trying to read the readings and could not even do it. Like my jaw would like, I just couldn't do it. Right. I don't know what it was either. It was lack of experience. It was lack of like courage. It was like fear of looking dumb, but it was like, I just couldn't do it. But eventually I did it and nobody made fun of me. And then I did it again and got a little bit better. And then I memorized the readings, and then I could rehearse them in my head as I was hearing them throughout the meeting. And it was through that process right there that I was able to actually become a good speaker. A big part of like the recovery process for me, like I remember when I first got clean, I would watch people get up in front of a group of people and share their story, right? Openly, like sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff. And I remember I said, man, I want to share my story. Like I want to talk. Like I want to be the guy that shares the hope and shares the message. And I think that I had almost 2 years clean before I even ever shared my entire story for the first time. But I remember the night that I did that, and I will never forget it, because I knew that night I realized that I had a gift that I had not tapped into before. I knew that when I got up there and started speaking from my heart, right, sharing my experience, strength, and hope with a bunch of people I knew pretty well, I felt safe. I felt I was in a good place. I was in the right environment, but I knew that like everything that I was sharing was coming from the heart, right? And it sounded good. Like, and I remember after that meeting, everybody came up to me like, dude, that was such a good story. Like, man, I love hearing you share. And it was like, bam, it just boosted my confidence even more, because like I just shared with you, I couldn't even read a reading when I first got clean. But a couple years in, I had the ability to get up in front of a group of people and share my story. And since then, like I've spoken in front of, I don't know what's the biggest group I've ever spoken in front of, but I've spoken in front of a lot of people. And I know that everything that we try to do in the beginning, we always suck at it, right? It's natural to suck at everything you start doing for the first time. But the more you do it, the less you'll suck. Right. And if you do it often enough and well enough and seek critical feedback from those that are better than you, sooner or later, you'll do it so much and so often that you won't suck anymore. Right. So I know that a lot of people have fear about sharing their story, sharing a story, right? Telling any type of story. But I'm telling you what, like with this content world, with this message, with this live stuff, with video, with sales, with advertising, marketing, it's about the stories. Right? You can have awesome product. You can have the best product. You can have the cheapest product. But if you can't tell a story about why your product is the shit, then you're probably not going to sell very much of it. Right? Now, again, that's my 2 cents. That's my perception. That's my experience. You may have a complete different experience, and that's okay. But what I'm trying to encourage you to do is just find a way to share your story and get better at sharing your stories and write out lists of different stories you have to tell, right? Regardless of whatever you are. Maybe you like remodel homes or something like that. Well, why did you start remodeling homes? What was the worst mistake you've ever made remodeling homes? What's the best success you've ever had remodeling homes? Like, what are the things that you learned that actually made you better at the thing you do? And the more often you share those stories, they will resonate with the people that are meant to hear your message, right? That's the hit for tonight, folks. Share your story. Don't be scared to share your story. Just try. And if you share your story around people and they laugh at you and make fun of you, you're sharing your story around the wrong damn people. Find some other people to share your story with. I know that there's fear behind getting behind the camera and like hitting the live and just like sharing, hey, this is who I am and what I do and why I do it. And like, it's important because most people are not going to care, but that's okay. Right? I'm telling you, the better you get at sharing your story, the more often you're able to share it, the more opportunities will arise, the more confident you'll be in yourself. And what you'll realize is that your experience is the greatest asset you have. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent, right, wrong, like your experience is the best thing that you have. And I would challenge you to embrace that, right? Don't be scared of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Get it out, share. And I'm telling you what, not only does it make you free, but it also helps you identify with the people who are meant to hear your message. So again, I know I had a jump start on a lot of people by being around great speakers, right? I used to watch, I watch YouTube videos every single day. Every damn day I watch a YouTube video, and it's usually the same people over and over. And these people are good speakers. They're good teachers. They're good educators. They're smart, right? They're able to articulate exactly what they're trying to say in a way that just, I'm telling you, it tattoos the shit on my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that I identify with, and I would guarantee that if you think about the types of content you consume, the people that you learn from, right? They speak to you in a way that just tattoos that stuff on your brain. And you've watched them long enough and you've listened to them long enough. You know their stories, you know their values, you know their beliefs. And I'm telling you what, you've probably got people in your life that you look up to that no matter what they were offering to sell, you would probably buy it, right? I know I do. I got people that I've studied and looked up to. I only got the books around here by me right now, but I've got people, I'm telling you what, if they have anything for sale, if they create anything new, I'm buying it because I believe in them. I believe in their process. I believe in the value that they offer, right? So yeah, you can tell I'm a little bit passionate about this topic. Storytelling is everything. That's why I'm trying to hop on here every freaking day and just get a little bit better at sharing my story. And one thing that I'm noticing, today's like day 15, right? So one thing I'm noticing is that when I'm sharing from my experience, I speak with a lot more confidence, right? But when I'm trying to share something that maybe I'm not as familiar with or don't have much experience in, it comes from here, right? It doesn't come from here. And when it comes from here, sometimes it's BS. But when it comes from here and it's my experience and I know exactly what I'm talking about, like there's just a whole different energy that I put off. And there's probably a whole different energy that you put off too. So if you're scared to tell your story, don't be scared. Try, fail, look dumb. The more you do it, the less you'll suck. And if you do it often enough, one day you won't suck at all. Talk to you tomorrow. Done.